Let's generate a random word on a website.
Glorbox.
On a website with real human words.
Random word generator. Just one word, right?
Yeah.
Undisturbed.
Undisturbed. Interesting. I like to work undisturbed.
Yeah, I'm an offender of that. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, like, I often honestly think about, like, working in a studio setting where I have people to talk to or, like, people talking near me. I'm worried that I'll be, like, distracted. And, like, even if I go draw, like, in public and stuff, there's, like, I notice there's, like, a mode that I get into where, like, the work is better, but I have to, like, completely block off all other things. And it's a very hard mode to enter when I'm, like, in public and, like, self-aware.
Yeah.
And, like, conscious. So it's, like, I don't know. That's why, like, public sketching hasn't been something I do often.
Yeah.
It's usually just me, like, trying to be like, okay, time to get into it.
Yeah.
Any minute now.
Yeah. Whenever I'm away from home, like, my desk setup just has everything that I need.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a double-edged sword because my work desk is also my play desk, like if I'm playing games or whatever. But getting another monitor is expensive and it's hard.
It's a weird sort of be your own boss and like, hey, it's work time, work hours.
But I totally understand, like, I don't know, whenever I travel, it's like, it's so hard for me to get work done. Because, I mean, my workflow is just so comfortable on my computer.
Yeah.
My thinking space is in my room. All of my to-dos are in my room. Like, I'm screwed without, like, I don't know.
I'm nothing.
I'm nothing without my sticky notes.
Yeah, it's, I mean, and for me, it's like just a little bit of anxiety of like, what if what I'm drawing is bad and someone glances over and sees my bad art and thinks I'm bad, and it's as silly as that.
Yeah, I haven't had that in a while. I don't know. I guess I've kind of done like that artist journey on enough mediums to understand that, like, and I guess it also helps that I teach too.
Sure.
So I can like see like, oh, these are the things that you have to break through, and like if you're scared, then you're not going to be able to improve.
Yeah, for sure. Doesn't make it any easier though. But
No,
that's why I
mean,
like my room, because I can be a little gremlin man at my desk and be like, sketch. I also sit weird after like drawing for a while. Like I'll have a leg up on the chair and like my neck contorted and like a whole thing. But it gets results.
Yeah. And speaking of those people that are wanting to draw, what is this week's prompt? We stopped. Sticky Man was last week. It ended last week. So yeah, this week we're doing Big Head Boy.
Pretty self-explanatory.
But hold on, I'll say this: if you can make it into a superhero,
I think there's tons of ways. Like,
but if you just say Big Head Boy, then it's like, oh, he's just a boy with a big head. But like, what if you can make it into?
Yeah, this is hero themed. So.
Yeah, I mean, not that. Again, these are our ideas of limitations. You can apply your mental mindset thing to this however you please.
I mean, that's like kind of I think my approach of it would be like, why is his head big? Big brain. He's real smart.
Big brain.
So he's got
big
like,
smart.
Telekinesis, or he's just like a
true.
super nerd.
I was thinking he was like a like physical, like like he would just like.
Oh no, his head would be gigantic.
Right, but I mean like yes, that, but like I don't mean he's like smart or anything.
Oh yeah.
He just falls over on people and he kills them.
My skull's too big. Yeah, the densest skull. No one can punch through it.
And maybe he's like a little bit aloof or something. And he just like walks around. He's like a baby almost.
Is he oblivious to what his head does?
I think so. and then he just falls over and just happens to hurt the bad guys every time.
That's fair. What would his nemesis be?
What would Big Head Boy's nemesis be?
I feel like it would also just be.
It would have to be something that would it be something that counters him or something that he would always be able to beat.
Part of me wants to go with like all these like idioms of like head to head or like. So it would just be another guy with a giant head, and they just like headbutt each other all the time.
Yeah.
And densest skull wins.
Or maybe it's Tails the fox from Sonic. Heads or tails.
I feel like Tails would be his sidekick though. Heads and tails, or heads or tails. I don't know. This goes deep.
Yeah. There's a lot of different ways to go about it.
How does he get his suit on? I guess it's got to be a button down. There's no,
Just the neck hole's giant.
yeah.
See, I'm kind of imagining it like a toddler walking around.
Yeah, he's got to like counter his weight with every
Yeah,
step.
yeah,
'Cause the
exactly.
momentum keeps swaying it.
He's a full grown adult, but like because his head is so big, he just like can never grasp his sense of balance the right way, and his weight like leads him in different ways.
Would his body have to compensate for the head weight? Would he have like a super strong neck just because of it?
We don't need logic here.
Right. Okay. So no logic. Fair enough. He's got a normal man's body and a gigantic big baby head.
Or maybe he's a boy, so
Oh yeah. Shoot. You're right.
yeah. So maybe he.
This is worse now. He's so much scarier looking.
I just imagine him always as like a baby with a giant head,
I've been considering
almost
him,
like Boss Baby or something like that.
Yeah, I guess that's why I've been thinking of him as mute as well. Like he doesn't speak.
Oh.
It's even creepier.
Yeah,
He
no,
just-
I see that
He
too.
he just makes guttural noises.
It's kind of like what we were talking about in a previous episode, where the main character from Undertale doesn't talk,
Right.
Link doesn't talk, Big Head Boy doesn't talk.
He's an icon of the industry.
He's the brains of the superhero
Oh,
quartet.
man. All the posters would be like 90% his head and then like part of his shoulders and his pose. Like you can't fit all of him in like the group setup of the
Yeah,
images.
or I mean, maybe that's the drawing. It's just like you can't fit his whole head in the picture.
In any of the promo art for like heroes and stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. He's
You know, maybe his arch nemesis is like the government, because like he just like keeps on bumping his head into stuff and breaking down buildings
they
accidentally.
have to pay. Like he's costing
there's-
us tax. I think his arch nemesis is like Hat Man or something.
Hat Man.
Or something.
Oh my,
It's,
yeah.
it's
or,
his kryptonite. He's like, I can't wear hats.
or potato sack man. He just puts a giant potato
Just
sack
a big
over his
bag.
head every time.
Yeah,
And
he's
then-
definitely got. I mean, he might not have physical weaknesses, but he has insecurities for sure.
Oh, for sure, for
So
sure.
his arch nemesis kind of just goes after those for sure.
Do you think when he falls over, he's like a turtle and he can't get up?
Yeah, because like if his body's not compensating in any way, like he can't reach the ground to like lift himself up. Although maybe he could just like roll his head really hard, and the momentum will just like fling him, and he can prop back.
Right, but if his head doesn't have like limbs, you know, to like flail around in his,
He would just rock. Like,
but his body's mass
Oh, yeah,
can't
okay.
match his head, so he can't like throw his momentum.
he can still just move his like head though
Can he?
and neck. And just
That's for you guys to decide.
he's a hero, so he's made it this far somehow.
Yeah, or maybe his sidekick is prop up girl or something like that,
Yeah. she drives a forklift.
or forklift girl.
Yeah, no powers. Just she's got a license to operate.
Yeah,
heavy machinery.
it's like Mega Man and Rush.
What does Rush actually do for Mega Man other than provide him lifelong companionship?
He just poops everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's really annoying. Like it's just a really like one-sided relationship.
Does it give him Mega Man points?
No, but he actually it's just to get like secret items. It's not required to be the
Secret
game.
items.
Like
Okay.
sometimes to like bounce higher, kind of like you see in Smash
Yeah,
Bros.
that's all I know about the dog.
But there's also, like,
He's
Rush-
bounce on me.
Yeah, there's also Rush Jet, which you can like ride on to get across certain areas. In some games, he's probably required, but
I like that they gave him a dog.
God, I have to get this dog.
More of a cat person. Shut up, Mega Man.
Shut up.
Gonna get a
I
dog.
swear to God.
What other like random characters have like pets added retroactively just to be like just for like merchandising? Like that Crypto, the super dog. Superman has like a superpowered dog.
Oh, yeah,
in
that's
some
right.
iterations.
I mean, I feel like Mega Man at least like they didn't really try to like merchandise everything.
Sure.
Like they definitely kept
was
it
just
pretty
an idea.
internal. Yeah.
Yeah, like give him a dog.
Yeah. And with Pokemon or like stuff like that or Disney stuff, it's always like, oh, yeah, there's
What
plushes.
toys can
or-
we make? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I love toys. Yeah.
I would have bought Mega Man toys.
Yeah.
They probably existed, maybe. I don't know. It's a little bit out of my time.
You said the Pokemon store that you were at in Japan added Johto toys.
Oh, yeah. I was just there like a month or two ago, and they had all 150 Pokemon, and they had like maybe like 20 to 30 Johto Pokemon.
Dang it.
And yeah, no, for real. I would have loved they had some good ones, to be honest. I would have, yeah, I got Ampharos, so I'm happy with that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really fun to like make a felt toy,
Yeah.
like just stuffing and felt and stuff like that.
I mean, it's got to be. I don't even know how they like mass produce that stuff. I've never even thought about that.
Yeah, sure. There's a how it's made episode about it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's something like that. Because I mean, the quality of these plushes that I have here are so nice.
Yeah,
Like they feel good, they look good.
they're gonna last. It looks like not teared or anything like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're super nice.
yeah. Yeah. I'm just impressed because like I don't know if you've ever tried sewing before.
I do want to do a lot of like hands-on crafts, like drawing in digital and all that stuff is very, I want to make something tangible that I can hold, like either wood or like puppets or felt animals, or I just think it'd be a good creative exercise.
Yeah, yeah. That's why we excuse me. That's why we talked about the puppets.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be. I always love like hands-on crafts. When I was a kid, I would like Sculpey was my thing when I was a kid.
Sculpey?
Yeah, it's like it's basically clay.
Okay.
It's like
It's like Play-Doh.
no, but it's like
I ate a lot of Play-Doh as a kid. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Play-Doh's great. I love it. Tastes so good.
So salty.
No, but it's like the clay that you bake in the oven. I guess but it's like colored. It's not like pottery,
Sure.
It's like different colored clay. Have you seen that guy on Reddit? He's been posting every once in a while, and he's been like making Pokemon sculptures. He made like a Chandelure or whatever it's called.
Oh, I might have seen it.
Yeah, and then he also made a Noctowl. I can't
I
remember.
might have. Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, those are made with. It's probably not called Sculpey. I think that's just the brand maybe. But it's basically just like colored clay statues that you can like
No, yeah, I think definitely
piece together.
that would be a good exercise for like to do it and learn things to bring into like drawings for sure. Just 3D thinking is really important.
Yeah,
Difficult to. It's like a part of your brain you have to build up for sure.
I really should like do that again. That's a lot of fun. Oh, that's what Charlene made her thing with.
The little mouse,
Or the mouse and the
the swimming.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. She might have painted that. I'm not sure, but I think it's the same thing. It's just already colored. Anywho, yeah.
I think I'm due for that.
You can just go to Michael's and like buy like the different. I mean, you can paint it yourself, I guess, if you want.
I just heard like even learning to design in like Maya or ZBrush, you get that 360 perspective. So like it helps you with character turnarounds and visualizing the whole 360 scope. So
That's interesting.
So that you can think in volume instead of like 2D. Because even like 2D shapes, like Samurai Jack style, really graphic animation you still have to think about volume, like the way clothing will wrap around and like that'll tier the visual field that you're looking at in terms of like giving it space.
That sounds like a lot of fun, actually. I think I'd love to like sit down and like, because seeing the guy do the make the sculptures of the Pokemon on Reddit, that just it's hard first off, but like it's fun.
I love the tactile nature of it. Like, I don't know. There's a saying that says, sketch like a painter and paint like a sculptor. Because a lot of painting, and I feel this way when I'm doing like digital, like more portrait stuff, it's a lot of, you think like a sculptor. Like you think of like, oh, this area is going to be further in. It's going to be darker. There's going to be more shadows. So when I'm like adding darker values, in my head, it's almost like I'm carving into the shape.
Yeah.
So
that's interesting.
In that sense, it helps you think about how light will hit the volume of the object. I think it's a really neat comparison, and I think just another reason why trying sculpting will help inform a lot of those decisions.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, I really want to make like a little monster. I want to design it in
like a sketchy monster.
I want to design it in like regular like drawing, and then I want to design it in pixel art, and then I kind of want to like make a toy out of it.
Yeah,
that's something like
just like I feel like I wonder what that would teach you too.
Doing it in all those mediums.
Yeah.
That's something I've like had on my mind for a while.
Because I feel like they'd probably inform you for other mediums.
Because so a lot of my big problem that I face when designing is like all the possibilities of like, oh, I can put the eyes up here, or I can like put it a pixel lower, or a pixel lower, or a pixel wider, and it's like the minutia of possibilities. I get too wrapped up in it, but I think doing it in different mediums will help actually create limitations of like, okay, this looks good and that also looks good, but only option A will also work in this 3D format. And maybe that more universal approach to design thinking of like how it'll work in different mediums will help create limits to my choices.
Right.
And like just kind of guide it a little easier. So that's nice. I think that'll be a nice little project.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe the little sketchy monster guy.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I think that one of my favorite things about just like painting or like creating in physical mediums is just I mean even with like music too. Like for Billie Jean, when they were producing that, they intended to make the drum kit recognizable no matter what. Like so when as soon as you heard the drum beat for Billie Jean, you knew exactly what's playing.
Gotcha.
And it worked.
Yeah.
And what they did though is they like put they basically put like boxes around like the physical drum kit to like create a different like acoustic reverb like echo setting, and they like affected the different drums themselves in unique ways.
Gotcha. No, that's a good point.
And so just something like that though, I mean, first of all, I'm sure it teaches you something, but at the same time it
kind of creates a signature. Like
I love that idea of like, okay, just like I'm buying these pencils and paper, but like what if I built my own stencil, you know, and like just like I'm just thinking of like, I mean, if you could like print out like a bunch of different stencils that like one of them is for the background, another one is for the foreground of the background, and then another one is for the actual like focal point, and then the actual foreground, and like and with all of them to combine, like they don't fill out the whole canvas, but like each of those individual stencils would eventually create an entire painting, and then like you can just do one step at a time, kind of. I don't know, something like that sounds really cool to me.
It's basically like when people like build their own sounds in like a production software, as opposed to like using the synth, like that sort of originality you can inject by like using your own tools, I guess, instead of like all these presets.
Maybe that's why I like sound design so much.
Yeah, probably.
That probably actually makes a lot of sense now that I think about it.
It feels wholly yours, you know, bottom up building of it.
Yeah.
I definitely think there's like, with the social media rise of like art portfolios and galleries, there's a lot of imitation games and a lot of similarity. And I think it's good to try to break out of that bubble, I guess, to try to like find other ways of doing things.
Yeah.
To diversify, like, you know,
Yeah.
your inspirations, diversify your approaches and everything.
I guess I kind of look at it as like building your own tools.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know, if you can build your own tools, if you're using a broom instead of a paintbrush, you know, your brushstrokes are going to have a different texture than probably most people.
Yeah. It's so the concept art is for How to Train Your Dragon and Kung Fu Panda. Nico Marley, he does like colored pencil designs on corrugated cardboard. So it has these really tiny subtle ridges, and he uses like red and orange like underlays, and then goes over it with pencil. But it creates this really unique look to his concept work, and it's all very it's usable in the production. It doesn't, you know, it's not too crazy, but it makes it feel, you know, you look at one drawing and you know it's his instantly. And that's a really cool thing to have been able to accomplish. And it's tough because like you don't want to just do different things just to be different, I feel like, just for the sake of that. Like I think he generally liked the feel of the cardboard, and you know, he was drawn to that look. But
I think that you're right. I think that like, but I think that you're not going to get to that place.
Yeah, unless you have that mindset.
Unless you have the mindset to do
Like,
try different stuff. Yeah.
I just want to make sure it comes from the right place.
Yeah,
you know, like,
that makes sense.
Look how quirky my art is. I made it out of poop. And
No, you're right. You're right.
put it on my mom's car.
Wow, so innovative. Well, that kind of goes back to
He's a genius.
it kind of goes back to previous conversations we've had where it's like, where is it in the box?
Right. That's fair.
Yeah. And that smearing poopy on your mom's car, that sounds like it's a little bit like right in the middle of the box, if you ask me.
I always think about like what, like once we're like in our 30s and 40s, what the kids, what will the kids be doing that we just won't understand?
Yeah.
And or are we in like a weird environment where because of the internet we're able to keep up with trends to a point that we always kind of feel in the loop enough?
Yeah, I don't know. I always think about that too, because there's a creative, artistic meta aside. I kind of feel like I think about that a lot, because like the internet, on one side, makes it hard. It's easier to connect with people, but you will never be able to connect on the same level as like you and I are talking to like face to face right now.
Like a local, like
Actually seeing their
sort of
face and
friendship,
like,
yeah.
and like getting to like see small stuff like how they walk or like how they talk or like their mannerisms and stuff that implies a lot about who they are.
Yeah.
But with the internet, it's like, okay, yeah, it kind of brings people closer together, but it also makes them further apart in the same way.
It breeds like a very unique type of relationship of like, I know a lot about you, and at the same time, nothing about certain areas of you. So like, you don't get. I guess it's just you don't get a full picture of people sometimes.
Yeah, I think that like
You usually get what they want to show you.
yeah, because I mean, when you get to know somebody, it's like, how do you get a feel for, like, you're almost being like sold on who they are, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know what
sure.
to call it. Like,
I think even like even in person, not just like over like digital communication or whatever. There is an element of like controlled release of information. Like
yeah,
it was, when you don't know people, like when I start a new job, I don't know the people around me, and I'm very like quiet at first. I do just a lot of observing mostly.
Yeah.
And then I will act in a way that only reveals like a small part of myself at first. Not that I'm not trying to be me, but trying to like, ease into it. What are these people like? What kind of jokes can I make? What's their sense of humor?
I've been going to Sports Town for like 3 or 4 years now, and Zach and I were talking about Overwatch while we were waiting for our drinks, and the bartender's like listening in, and like him and I have never really talked before, and like suddenly he's like, "Oh, dude, I love Overwatch. I love watching Overwatch League. I love like all that stuff." And him and I were like, I was just like, "Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's so weird that like."
No, moments like that are like why I like going out to like a bar or festival or something. Just like the possibilities for like potential cool conversations or new friends or just moments like that really just kind of make me happy, I guess.
Yeah.
Even just in Chicago with Andrew, I was talking about, I think, just finishing Breath of the Wild or something, and the dude working at the restaurant who was like sweeping behind us just kind of stops and he's like, "Did you guys say Zelda?" And he's like, "Oh, I love Zelda." And he starts talking about these companies that like refurbish like old school like NES games or something.
Oh,
like, they're called like
cool.
Repopped, and they clean up the games, like the code and everything, and make it more. It's just cleaner, I guess, and then they sell them for, I don't know, decent amount of money. And then he was like this older dude, not super old, maybe like mid-30s. Loved Zelda games, couldn't stop talking about them. Owned a Switch, never played Breath of the Wild, and we're like, you should play it.
Are you really a Zelda fan?
And he's like, oh guys, like you guys made me so hyped to play it. Like, I'm gonna go home and play it right now. And we're like, cool. Hope you have a great time.
Nice. That's awesome.
But I always stand by the idea that you don't know what someone's gonna bring into your life and what kind of like interesting things like
Yeah.
they'll reveal to you. Like there's a lot going on in the world, and there's no way I can possibly be aware of it all.
I mean, and it's not like I didn't have interest in talking to the bartender before. It's just that like there's a lot going on.
Yeah, it's like how do you pick your battles? I always wished, like I've always known some people who could just walk up and make friends with anybody, strike up a conversation. I'm definitely like a bit more. I want to have something in mind, I guess, to talk about, or like a reason or a substance. It's hard for me to just randomly be like, "What's up?" or something like that.
Yeah. I think I feel like demographics in that sense are pretty important.
Yeah.
Like if I go to PAX, I feel comfortable going up to anybody.
Yeah, I think that's why I like cons.
Yeah, at PAX you can just say, "What are your favorite video games?"
Yeah.
every single time, and you will get to know that person in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Like music festivals are the same way. Like you know everybody is there, and they all already have something in common.
Yeah.
And that makes it really cool.
I've actually never done that before, like actually ask somebody at PAX what their favorite video game is.
Sure.
I feel like that's
You
probably...
just wear a shirt that says like, "What's your favorite video game?"
Yeah, just walk up and,
I choose you. And they're like, "No, please."
you,
I'm so
and
shy.
you, and you, and they're like, "No!"
Yeah. I think a good way to tie that into things is just community building. Community building is important, especially I think learning a craft, because other people will bring other perspectives to the craft that you might not have thought of. And that's why I think like I'm jealous of like couples that are both like in a craft, because the amount of time they spend with each other and the amount of times they probably have to bounce ideas back and forth just pays off, I imagine, long term. Like when your day and night is like, being able to talk about it and think about it and fling ideas back and forth, I think it's you're only going to grow faster from that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why, like, I think our living situation is so good because we're roommates. Mitch and Charlene are our roommates, and everybody is doing something creative or like everybody's like has different ideas and experiences, and like we're all doing different things to bring to the table.
For sure. I'm definitely glad I moved up here. Like, I think there's a lot of things I wouldn't have done.
Yeah, right. No, I'm the same way. That's just like, because I was only here like a year before you moved up. Like, I wasn't here that long. But, I mean, even though like Orlando is not the best place in the world, it's still just like, I guess it's just like the certain people that you stick around, I guess. Like, being around Mitch and Charlene and you are like, is like really, really, really helpful. Just to be able to be like,
hey, I have this idea, this thought. Mind if I shoot it at you?
yeah, totally. I like that.
That's all I had.
Cool. Yeah, well, thanks for listening, everybody.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. If you want to hang out with us, come join the Discord server. Yeah, we have a Discord server. You can check it out in the description below. You can also submit to this week's or bi-weekly. It's so weird to say bi-weekly prompt.
Yeah, I know.
But weekly or like monthly would be so much better. But I don't know. If you guys think we should change it, or if you guys like have like thoughts on like a better schedule for you guys, we are all ears.
Tell us. We're dumb.
We're so dumb.
No. I'm big brain boy.
So yeah, and
big head boy.
I'm forklift girl.
Signing out.
Yeah.
For justice.
Yeah. But yeah, take part in the prompt this week. Go to sketchymonsters.art.com in the description below. Join us on Discord, and yeah, follow us on Instagram if you want to get updates and stuff. And
help us grow.
Help us grow. And well, you don't really have to help us grow. Just we like to hang out with people, and if you enjoyed this, then we'll probably enjoy hanging with you.
Dab yeet.
We have to go.